Yes, it's time for another album ranking, and I'm a little bit reluctant giving you this album ranking because I do have some very controversial picks. So we're doing Napalm Death today. Napalm Death album ranking. I believe this is the first ever Napalm Death album ranking on YouTube. And what I wanted to be very clear is that this album ranking is definitely not going to be the majority of everyone's album rankings out there. Oh, no. This is the albums. This list is completely fucking subjective. So you guys are going to comment straight away when I give you my weakest album. Let's rip the band-aid off the wound. And number 15 is Scum. Yep, I said it, Scum. Okay, so I understand how they pioneered grindcore, sort of a punky, thrashy sound, or could you call it crust punk? There are certain elements or surprises throughout this album, and I do enjoy one song, which is Scum. Scum is the best song off the album. We had Broderick on vocals and Bullen on vocals as well, I think in the first half, but then there was a sort of a tension. There was tension between Napalm Death, and they actually had a whole different band in the second part of the album. Lee Dorian came in on vocals. Look, Scum may be a masterpiece to you. It's not a masterpiece for me. I think this is the weakest album by far because of how disjointed this album is. The production isn't very good as well, and I just feel that there are 14 other albums better than Scum. A lot of you guys would have this at number 1. And I understand because I don't understand this kind of grindcore. Because I love the other grindcore that Napalm Death have created. But this grindcore, this grindcore man can get in the bin. So yeah, everyone's probably saying, oh, you motherfucker, I'm gonna write these nasty comments now. You know what, write your nasty comments because I don't give a fuck. Number 14 is another controversial pick. It's from Enslavement to Obliteration. Now, Lee Dorian is on vocals on this album, and my god, his vocal performance is very good. I think he's got one of the best vocals, especially for Napalm Death, apart from the OG Barney. But this album, you have Lee Dorian on vocals, and this is a really interesting album. My favorite song off the album is Mentally Murdered, and I really enjoy that song. Love the riffages throughout the song, and this reminds me of a better Scum. This is Scum 2.0, except this is better than Scum. And after From Enslavement to Obliteration, Lee Dorian left. He left and actually created his own side band called Cathedral. And Forest of Equilibrium, fantastic album. Go check out Forest of Equilibrium. So good. You'll understand, because Lee Dorian has such incredible vocals as well. But his harsh vocals are really good, especially on this album. So coming up 13 is when Napalm Death were again in some turmoil. And this is words from The Exit Wound. We're getting closer, we're getting colder. Look, it's a good album. It's a death metal album, incorporating elements of grindcore, but it sort of repeats the same old monotonous sound that we heard from other previous albums, except this album isn't that great, but I still really enjoy this album for what it is. The Infiltrator is a very good song. I love Next Kin of Chaos, especially that guitar riff, and not to mention the crazy blast beats throughout that song. And Septic in Perspective has such an awesome guitar groove. It's a much more melodic sort of album because Napalm Death were approaching towards that groovy side as well, but Words from the Exit Wound definitely suffers. Disjointed this album is as well, not as disjointed as some other albums that I've mentioned below, but it still doesn't hold its identity just because Napalm Death was struggling. And I think after this, Bunny left the band for a few years, and we had another vocalist that came in, but he wasn't actually on the album. I think he was actually on the EPs after Words from the Exit Wound, but Bunny came back when they created their next album because they actually wanted him back. I think there was a few disagreements throughout this era. So coming at number 12 is Time Waits for No Slaves. Now the reason why I put this so low is because you don't want a Napalm Death album to be fucking 50 minutes long. Don't get me wrong, I really do enjoy it. Like, these are the albums that I actually really enjoy. And Strong Arms has a fantastic melodic groove along with Passive Tense, increasing blast beats, and his vocals on this album are fucking fantastic, along with Procrastination on the Anti-Vessel, which has an absolutely amazing vocal performance by Barney. I do love it. I love the lyrics overall. Like, the lyrics are so damn strong. definitely reminds me of the actual things of what is happening now, like the Black Lives Matter movement and everything like that. Time Waits for No Slaves, definitely talking about slavery, and Napalm Death really encapsulate the listener about political things, about things that are happening in the world that people shy an eye upon. Yeah, Time Waits for No Slave is a very long album, but of course there's another album that does it a lot better. Coming at number 11 is Harmony Corruption. Now, Barney Greenway came in, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is his first album with him, and Harmony Corruption has such an interesting tone. This is a death metal album, hardly any grindcore. Death metal album reminds me of bands such as Death. Even some Cannibal Corpse as well, the really strong blast beats along with the crazy guitar tremolo pickings as well, the guitar solos throughout this album. It's actually fucking fantastic and I really do enjoy it. In The Truth Be Known is a really good song, along with Incineration, and Unfit Earth is a great way to end off the album. So coming at number 10 is Inside the Torn Apart. Another really good album by Napalm Death. Now, Napalm Death experimented throughout the album previously, which I'll be talking about later on, but Inside the Torn Apart has its, again, own identity. Unlike Words from the Exit Wound, Inside the Torn Apart definitely has its own approach, own style. Certainly it's death metal, incorporating elements of grindcore at times, especially that guitar, but there are some killer songs like Breathe to Breathe, Reflect on Conflict, and The Lifeless Alarm. Amazing sort of lyrics overall, strong message as well, a really solid album by Napalm Death. Now these are the albums that are actually close to love. And now the number 9 is Utopia, Banished. Ooh. Yeah, so Barney's on vocals again on this album, absolutely adore it. I love his harsh vocals throughout this album. They're much more lower register, but there are some really good songs like I Abstain, Contemptuous, along with Dementia Access. Some really nice guitar riffs as well. Some melodic infectious guitar riffs. It's sort of when they're approaching that sort of melodic style playing that groovy style that we will soon get through Diatribes, that we soon will get through Inside the Torn Apart. But Utopia Banished does its thing very well. So coming in at number 8 is Smear Campaign. And this is a really good album. I absolutely really adore it. Again, the fast guitarist, the fast-paced drumming, and you know what? Barney uses some harsh vocals along with shrieks. The shrieks on this album are fantastic, and you get some really good Barney shrieks throughout the next couple of albums that I'll be mentioning. But yeah, Smear Campaign is definitely a step up in the right direction for Napalm Death. Sink Fast Let Go is a fantastic, hard, energetic, hitting song, along with When All Is Said and Done, and not to mention Smear Campaign. Oh, that guitar riff, the guitar solos throughout some of these songs, the fast, shreddy guitar solos, along with some really nice sort of breakdowns. This is a grindcore album, incorporating elements of a little bit of death metal. So now number 7, this is going to trigger a lot of you, but Diatribes will definitely be a lot of you guys' weakest albums, but Diatribes is definitely one of the most strongest Napalm Death albums in my opinion. Just how fucking different it is. It is so damn different. Who would have thought Barney could rap? He raps. Very Killing is just a really good song, and I love the flow of the song, along with Curse to Crawl and Dogma. There are some melodic moments, it's groovy at times, and dare I say, it does sound a bit like new metal. Oh, it doesn't sound like new metal, some people will comment. It sure does. Some of it does sound like new metal, especially the flows, the raps, and the guitar tone. Certainly they were going on a popularity train just like Slayer with that Musica in Diabolis. So now we go to number 6, and it's Apex Predator Easy Meat. This is the last album before they actually released a new album in 2020. I know it's probably going to be a killer because after hearing this album is one of the best. Absolutely love it. It's got an awesome tribal introduction, this album. I just love the fucking build up, the guitar riffs, and just how energetic and fast-paced some of these songs. You know, Barney incorporates fucking clean vocals throughout some of these songs. Hierarchies is such a fantastic Fantastic fucking song by Napalm Death. Stubborn Stains is incredible as well, but I just absolutely I really love that title track. Growing crescendo moment towards the next song, and there are some awesome blast beats. There is amazing shrieks by Barney as well, and it's just a really good grindcore time. So coming in number 5 is Order of the Leech. Really good songs on this. I really love it. I really love this album. I love how grindcore it is. It's a lot better than the old stuff. Order of the Leech has definitely returned to form for Napalm Death. Some really interesting songs like Continuing War, Stupidity, Narcoleptic, amazing lyrics overall, along with the Lowest Common Denominator. Very good grindcore album by Napalm Death, and I really did enjoy it. I love how easy listening this album is. It's very extreme, but there is also some nice calmer moments. It's also got some chaotic moments. In this song, you kind of drool when you're singing an 11-minute grindcore song, but it's really like 4 minutes, and that's the end of the fucking album. Why would you do that, Napalm Death? Why would you do that? So coming in at number 4 is Fear, Emptiness, Despair. This album is, one of the best albums, and this is the change of sound by Napalm Death. It's melodic, it's proggy, and it's also groovy. Twist the Knife Slowly has an awesome melody. Hunger has also got some amazing drumming, along with Fasting Deception, has an ethereal feel and an atmospheric vibe that you just can't really get from Napalm Death's song. Some really awesome songs as well, and the album flows so nicely. It does. It's a death metal album. It's like a proggy death metal album. Nice time signatures. And it's definitely one of the most interesting but yet most progressive album by Napalm Death, in my opinion, because there are some really awesome moments throughout this album. So now we come to number 3, and this is a recent one, Utilitarian. And I tell you what, this album just flows freely. It's a long album, it's around about 45 minutes, but I tell you what, Barney's vocals on this fucking album are just fucking fantastic. They really are. Everyday Pox has a fucking saxophone in this song. It's like a zombie saxophone that has risen from the dead and just spraying its juices all over you. It's fucking fantastic. The Wolf I Feed is one of my favorite Napalm Death songs. Melodic, clean fucking vocals by Napalm Death, along with Circumspect, which has an amazing instrumental acoustic moments to lead onto Four on Their Swords, which has some chanting epic moments. It's so damn good, this album. I fucking love it. I think it's definitely one of the best albums. So finally we get into the big daddies. It's number 2. The Code is Red. Long live the Code. Album's fantastic. Enough said. You know what? Post 2000s, Napalm Death has just been consistent. Haven't created a bad album. So damn good, especially in this album, The Code is Red, Long Live the Code. Some really groovy moments as well. They incorporate more groove throughout this album. Climate Controllers has amazing melody along with Vegetative State. Barney's vocals throughout that song is fantastic. Morale, so good, along with The Great and the Good. An awesome guitar riff, nice chord progression, really nice soaring moments, especially that guitar. Finally, my number 1 Napalm Death album isn't Scum. Oh no, it is Enemy of the Music Business. Wow, what can I say? This is definitely the most angriest, most visceral Napalm Death album you could possibly hear. This is one of the most extreme metal, one of the most hectic, one of the most chaotic Napalm Death albums you could ever hear. And it's actually pretty fucking good. Next on the list is So Damn Chaotic. Fraction Equation is just, oh my god, will blow your socks off. Along with Necessary Evil, I mean, holy fucking shit. Absolutely fucking amazing song. Enemy of the Music Business, Napalm Death were struggling. They have lost their record and they moved on to another record label. And they were just totally pissed off with the music industry. So they created an album like Enemy of the Music Business. Absolutely fucking love this album. It's definitely the top album by Napalm Death. I listen to it all the time. I think they have improved so much throughout the years. And apart from Scum and From Enslavement to Obliteration, The rest of the albums I really fucking love. Those two albums that I don't really like have that sort of crust punky, thrashy, grindcore sound that I absolutely fucking hate. They modernized that grindcore sound and I absolutely love that sound. Now I realize Scum was definitely the influencer for many other bands like an Nathrak and everything like that. I do appreciate that album, but it's definitely not for my ears, definitely not for my taste. But the rest of Napalm Death's albums are fucking really good. To be honest, Scum was the first album I listened to. I forced myself to listen to some more Napalm Death, and behold, I actually really enjoyed it, especially in the mid-90s, Diatribes era and all that. And then we moved on to, then we got to Enemy of the Business, which just blew my socks off. I said, this is one of the best grindcore albums I ever fucking heard. This is fucking amazing. And from then, they've just been consistent. I've just seen 8 out of 9 out of even 10 out of 10 albums that I fucking love. Really good, apart from Smear Campaign, which is just an okay album. But yeah, that's my album ranking for Napalm Death. I hope you did enjoy it. So yeah, comment below your Napalm Death album ranking. Love to hear your thoughts. Don't have to take it too fucking serious because this is just a subjective list. But yeah, that's my opinion. Hope you did enjoy it, and I will see you in the next one.